This, I think, is the fastest picking Seaberry I've found. It's a few years old. It's loaded. There's probably well over a quart on here. And I'm finding that you can just pick them. Now, it is important when you're picking Seaberry and you're not actually cutting branches, which is a very common way when you have enough Seaberry to harvest that way. Freeze, cut branches and freeze, and then beat the branches into a bowl. To pick them it is important when you're not doing it that way to pick them at the peak of ripeness, but definitely, if anything, early rather than late, because once they get soft, this might be even a day or two beyond ideal, they will start to break as you're picking them. These are actually pretty much perfect. I've been watching them the last few days, and now I don't mind getting some leaves because they're good for you actually, and they don't affect the taste. I mean, obviously if you get tons of leaves they might, but they don't seem to affect the taste at all, and they're actually good for tea. So if there's some leaves in there, that's fine. Look how fast these are. Now again, if you get them just at the right time, others can be almost this good. Well, not quite. This variety seems to be really faster than I think any we've worked with in about 7-8 years of picking Seaberry. I will point out there's some technique here though too. I mean, you can just pick it like a normal fruit and that's going to be pretty slow, but there's this kind of always working away from the center of the plant because it's a thorny plant, so you never work towards. And when they're really thick, you can kind of do this quick stripping. You know, you can just go like this, and that's why you want them pretty firm. See, some are breaking. It's okay. I'd rather do that than we have no shortage of actual fruit. We have shortage of time to pick, so I don't care if I break some fruits to pick a lot at once. But you want them to bear really heavily and then just kind of milk along where they're hanging off and get a lot. That's actually not a very heavy section. I'll go for a heavier zone and I can show you what I mean, like in here. And sometimes there's too many branches in the way to really do it. Yeah, these actually, some of these are definitely soft. They're breaking a little. Some are perfect. But there's some others I was just picking before that were harder, and you could just strip. You could just pull your hand right across and you get some leaves, but again, that doesn't matter. And you could actually harvest a lot quite quickly that way. Now again, we also do cut branches, but not when they're this age. This is the first year for this thing to really bear fruit. And I know everyone's going to ask me what variety this is, but we're going to work with this a little longer before I tell folks. We give away a lot of information, you know, for free, and we share a lot, but you know, this fruit is part of what we put a lot of our own time and effort into. It hasn't been an economically profitable thing yet. You know, maybe eventually it will be, but we put a lot of investment into it, and so we're going to make this variety available, but you know, we're not, there's some things we're going to use as the investment we've made to hopefully be able to keep doing this, because it does take a lot of investment of time and money to make this happen. So yeah, we're gonna use that to help keep funding more of the research that we do and more of the findings that we've shared almost all the time, just on YouTube or in the book, and certainly our clients we are always sharing it with, and they do pay for it, and they help fund what it takes to make this stuff happen. But if it wasn't for taxes, we could just do everything and give everything away, pretty much. But that's not the world we live in, unfortunately. As long as our money is being taken by governments to have a piece of land to actually do this work on, you know, we have to be able to pay that tax bill to make this happen. It's a drag that that's the context, but it is. So we have to work with that. I know some of you guys are probably like, what are you doing? Why are you apologizing? Of course, you don't have to apologize to not just give everything away and not have any reciprocation from people, you know, and just be a philanthropist, which we're not in a position to really be, mostly. But I know then the corollary is a whole bunch of folks thinking, oh, you should just give everything away for free, right? And I don't think understand. I don't know, maybe they don't have a tax bill or have land that they have to pay rent to the government for, but wouldn't it be nice if everything could just be free? Maybe in some different world. Although I don't think nature works that way anyway. Everything's based on exchange of energy, resources, materials. We just have a particularly corrupt way of going about it as humans. There's, you know, half a quart, and that's only a few minutes. See, when they get this thick. And if they're a little harder, they wouldn't break as much. Again, break a few, no big deal. But that's like a full handful just from stripping. That's why you want to get them when they're panicle, when they're ready to release off their panicle, but the fruit still has some firmness to it, so it holds up.